Hey traders, so welcome back to the Sharks Trading Academy weekly market analysis. And over here we have a live entry or live chart on the Aussie CAD, and over here this is the supply zone, right? Prices came back to tap this area, broke down, clearing these levels, right? And you can see that we created a wick over here. So this makes us believe that this is a trendline liquidity, maybe over here as well, right? So all of these wicks serves as a liquidity area. And this makes us believe that prices wants to come back up towards supply zones inside of here before a breakdown. Okay, so if you drop down to the 30 minutes time frame, or maybe the 15 minutes, you can see this is the last up move before the down move that broke out of structure, correct? So then again, you see this is the upside move. And as it drops down and breaks structure, it left behind this order block over here. This is the supply zone that we are looking for. Right, so you can wait for confirmation telling you that this zone holds, right? And how do you wait for confirmation? You can look for Wyckoff or whatever entry techniques that you have been learning, right? You can wait for a move like this, creating your buying climax, automatic rally, your ST, then maybe your signs of weakness, your shifts that creates your uptrust, and your UTED, right? Your uptrust after distribution, breaks down, pulls back into further supply zones or refine supply zones before a breakdown. Then with this, you can put your stop loss above this level. Alright. However, if you're looking for a non-confirmation entry, you can just place a sell limit here and stop loss above this zone and just aim for this zone over here. 1 hour time frame. You can aim for the liquidity line beneath all of these areas, right? So you can maybe just aim towards this level for 1:1.95 or 1:2 trade, right? So this is how we'll be looking for Aussie CAD. Next up for the Aussie dollar, this is pretty clear cut. You can see that although prices are so-called moving sideways, right? We have a break of structure, right? Over here. And we are either waiting for prices to tap into deeper levels of demand zone inside of here, or this supply zone, right? You can see this is a trend line and it creates liquidity lying above. Okay, of all these levels are liquidation areas. And you can see that with this break of structure over here, leaving behind imbalances inside of this level, it made us believe that prices are likely to come back up, fill this imbalance into this order block over here. You can see this is an order block, right? That broke out of structure. So this is our supply zone and we are looking to sell inside these areas. Okay. So if prices came back up towards this imbalance as well as supply, look for confirmation inside of here to take us down lower. Okay, so if prices wants to move off from here, if you want to see buy side pressure eventually clearing these levels, right, into this supply zone, you have to sell to buy. Okay, so you have to sell to buy. Okay, so if you drop down to the 1 hour time frame, if you want to be a buyer, where would you buy from? You will buy from this demand zone. Okay, so can you see this is the last sell move before the up move that broke out of structure? Okay, so this would be our projection for the Aussie dollar. We'll be waiting for an upside move. This is a slow climb. You can see this is a channel as well, right? An upside channel. So if we see a move like this, taps into this imbalance, taps into this supply zone, a shift, we are likely to believe that prices are going down towards this demand zone. And over here, it's up to you whether you want to buy from here, because we want to see a move like this, right? So imagine this is the demand. You want to wait for the same sort of a move, right? The transfer from sell side to buy side. So next up, we have the euro dollar. You can see that with this recent break of structure, there is no reason why we should buy now, hoping that it breaks the supply zone, right? Because we are still in a downtrend over here. And with this downtrend in play, we are looking for places to sell, right, into a very strong buy area. So where do you think is a very strong buy area? This is a demand zone, right? On the daily time frame, you can see that if you want to be a buyer, you want to buy over here, right? And that is why you are able to take sells into this demand zone. So on the 4 hour time frame, you are looking to sell anywhere into this area, right? And if you're a seller, where do you look to sell? You look for supply zones over here. Why? Because this is the supply zone that broke out of structure, and you're likely to believe that prices will make its way back into this supply zone, give you some sort of a shift in buy side to sell side, or Wyckoff, or maybe 3-bar reversals, inside bar breaks down, bearish engulfing, whatever over here on the higher time frame, right? Then take sells inside of here. So we can take continuation sells all the way down into this demand zone because you believe that prices are likely to come over to this demand zone, right? So can you see that over here, you are always looking to sell. As prices breaks new structure, look for pullback. Breaks new structure, look for pullback all the way until this level, alright? And as prices reaches this demand zone, you do not buy immediately, right? You want to wait for a shift because on the way down, it creates a downtrend move. And for you to buy, you want to wait for a shift from sell side to buy side. And that is why as prices came back down towards this level, you want to look for a shift over here, right? You want to see something like this. Can you see that the selling side has been weakened, shifting into buying side? And that is why you can wait for pullback into this level to buy up. So over here, we have the pound yen, and you can clearly see that we are at a very high place, right? And this actually mitigates this supply zone over here. So let's dive deeper. So you can clearly identify an up move before the down move, right? A buy to sell move over here, right? And this buy to sell move broke out of structure, okay? So if you were to pull it to current prices over here, it taps in perfectly, right? However, over here, as prices taps into this supply zone, you do not see any shift from buy side to sell side because of this impulse move. So what do you want to see? You want to see prices breaking out of this swing low, okay? So can you see this is the move, right, into this supply zone? And we want prices to give us a shift. So maybe we will expect prices to move towards this zone, potentially hold over here because there are definitely people buying from this support zone, right? However, we don't want to participate in this support zone. We want to wait for a clear confirmation. If prices wants to go higher, we are waiting for a break out of this supply zone and higher high and give us a pullback to buy. And if prices wants to go lower, we want to wait for prices to break this structure, gives us a pullback into maybe some of these supply zones inside of here before selling into demand zones over here, right? So this is our entry criteria for GJ. So look for a break of structure of this level, okay? And there is a possibility for prices to come back. So what do I mean by that? So if prices do not break down from here, we can expect prices to find support inside of here, right? Perhaps moving higher, deeper into this supply zone, liquidating this level before a breakdown. So this is possible as well, right? So we will see how this market shows our hand, right? If they show us that prices wants to go higher, then we just wait patiently, correct? We'll wait for a break of this level as well as supply before taking the pullback to buy. Otherwise, as long as prices are inside of this supply zone, we are not going to buy into this supply zone, okay? Hey traders, so moving back to GCAT, you can clearly see that this demand zone got broken through, and we did not actually see any sort of a confirmation as we are looking for a break of structure, give us a pullback onto previous demand zones before taking a long to clear this liquidity, right? And in this case, it didn't happen. So this trade is invalidated. So looking at NU, you can see that over here, we are looking for a pullback to sell because prices just broke this level over here. You can see this is a break of structure, right? And we are expecting prices to pull back towards this zone over here. Can you see this is a supply zone? So we're actually expecting prices to come back towards this level, okay? To give us a sell move, right? So as prices makes its way back into this level, we are waiting for the creation of liquidity, which is happening now. You can see prices broke down, probably trapping some of the traders to sell into these zones, but we are actually expecting prices to move higher into this supply zone over here. And from there, after it clears this liquidity, look for a breakdown of structure, pulling back to supply zones over here, or any order blocks inside of here before taking a sell towards clearing this liquidity over here. So our ultimate zone will be at this daily supply zone. Okay, you can clearly see that this is our first supply zone that we're looking for. Okay, and for prices to actually break down towards this demand zone, we are expecting buys from here, pushing prices into this last supply before breaking down ultimately. So over here, we have the USD CHF. You can see that we have a huge demand zone over here, right? And ever since prices taps into this zone, it makes a breakout structure, we were bullish buyers, right? So if we drop down to the 30 minutes time frame, we have a demand zone over here that broke out of structure. Right? This is the last down move before the up move that broke out of structure, right? Came back all the way down into this demand zone. So we could have bought over here as well. Drop down to the 5 minutes time frame. You can clearly identify a Wyckoff schematics, right? So let's see. On the 3 minutes time frame, we have a selling climax. We have an automatic rally, right? So this is our preliminary support, right? Automatic rally. We have the ST. This would be our ST and B, right? And spring over here. So can you see prices validated this schematic as it broke out of this level? So we have a break of structure over here. Came back down to retest the last down moves inside of here, right? Before moving up. So if we go down to the lower time frame on the 5 minutes or on the 1 minute, you can have bought on an unmitigated demand zone inside of here. Okay. So can you see after you get a break of structure, you're looking for sells to buy candle over here. This week over here liquidated this previous candle, right? Before moving up, breaking out of structure. So this would be your buy candle. And look for an upside move. So we are definitely bullish buyers all the way until this supply zone. Okay, so I mean, of course, prices may come back down, test some supplies over here, give us a pullback, buy into this. You see, so just keep buying into this level, supply zone, right? And from there, it will decide whether prices wants to go back down to continue the bearish trend over here, or just move off from here, right? So this will be the projection for USD CHF. So lastly, we have the dollar yen. You can see that we have a supply zone marked out earlier, and now we have a break of structure over here, right? So we are expecting prices to actually reach lower prices, maybe into this demand zone or even somewhere lower over here. And this is just the creation of liquidity for us to tap into this supply zone on the 4-hour time frame or the 1-hour time frame. And can you see that over here, we have a refined zone, a 1-hour supply over here, right? And prices taps onto it perfectly, give us a breakdown in structure. Can you see this is a breakdown in structure? This is a BOS, right? So let me mark it out. And now this is another creation of liquidity, right? Trapping traders and grabbing their orders to meet higher prices into eventually these levels over here to sell into. So you can actually be a participant at higher areas over here. So anywhere inside of this would be a great sell area, okay? So I'm actually looking for higher prices into this doji candle over here. Can you see this is the last buy move before the sells that broke out of structure. So I'm actually looking for prices to tap into this level. Okay, and even if you don't wait for confirmation inside here, your risk to reward would be so great over here, right? Because your target is to grab the liquidity lying beneath here into this demand zone. So if you were to place a sell limit, your risk to reward is about 1:8, right? And you can actually just wait for confirmation. You can drop down to the 1-hour time frame, wait for some sort of this move before selling, and your risk to reward will be very good as well, right? So just wait for price action candles, any confirmation over here telling you that prices wants to shift from buy side to sell side before taking this trade towards this demand zone. So this would be the UJ projection.